Boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and it looked like WNBA owners is fed up and getting very tired with these WNBA players. More new information has come out about this CBA negotiation, and will they sign the new proposal? That is the conversation that's in the room, guys.
WNBA owners are very frustrated right now. After staying silent for 6 weeks following the players' last proposal, the league finally gave their response late Friday night. According to sources, this could be the final offer the players receive. Now everyone is wondering, will the players accept the deal, or is the league heading toward its first work stoppage in history?
I feel like they definitely need to sign it because this might be the end of the road for the WNBA players, man. Andy Constable tweeted out last night, latest in WNBA CBA negotiations, the league submitted a proposal to the WNBA Friday. A source has confirmed this after both sides met on Monday at the league office in roughly 6 weeks after the union shared.
The Players Association waited 6 weeks after sending their proposal in early January. Both sides met on Monday at the league office in New York, but the league did not give a counteroffer at that time. The current agreement expired as planned, free agency was delayed, and the draft schedule became uncertain. During all of this, the league said nothing until Friday night, when they finally responded. This timing is important because in most years, the WNBA releases its schedule in late November or early December. This year, it is already mid-February, there is still no new collective bargaining agreement, and training camps are supposed to begin in less than 6 weeks. ESPN's Alexa Phillip explained where the negotiations stand, and the situation does not look good. The two sides still strongly disagree about how much revenue should be shared. What stands out even more is what happened after the players sent their proposal in January. According to Phillip sources, the league did not think the new proposal was much different from the previous one, so they did not respond for 6 weeks. That silence sends a message. It is not just a negotiation strategy, but also a sign of who has the power. The league controls the schedule, arenas, and broadcast deals, while the players control their labor. Right now, it seems like both sides are waiting to see who gives in first.
The league, on their part, feels like that proposal wasn't really inherently different from the PA's last proposal, and so didn't essentially warrant a response. But from the conversations we've had with players and just the sense around the league is that really when that deadline passed and the conversations around a free agency moratorium today, free agency the negotiations would have started if we were going by the old calendar. So there's just that little bit sense of restlessness of wanting a deal to get done and having the season proceed, whether or not we're close to that or still a few weeks out. The
main issue causing the delay is how revenue should be calculated. The players want their share to be based on gross revenue, which means all the money the league earns before any expenses are taken out. The owners want to use net revenue instead, which is the money left after paying for costs like arena fees, travel, and other expenses. This difference could mean millions of dollars each year for the players. The league made about $400 million last season, so even a 5% change in how revenue is calculated would equal about $20 million per year. When that amount is divided among about 144 roster spots, it becomes a significant difference for players, especially since the current median salary is around $74,000.
Well, if you think about it, typically, historically, the league has released its schedule in really early December. One year is at the end of November, the last few years. And so this is later given that timeline, but they want to try and say, hey, this is an opportunity for teams, for fans, for our partners, for everyone to kind of get in a place where they can start plan things for next season. And so that is like a way to be able to do this. And they hope that that'll be able to stick to the timeline that they set out.
Sure, because concerts have to use the same venues, that sort of thing. All right, that makes sense.
There's another factor adding tension besides just the money, and that is the timing. The WNBA just had the most successful season in its history. Caitlin Clark's rookie year helped increase attendance by 48%. The finals averaged 1.6 million viewers on ESPN. Merchandise sales broke records, and 15 of the 20 games in league history that drew more than 1 million viewers happened in 2024. From the players' point of view, this means they are negotiating from a strong position. The league is more valuable than ever, sponsors are investing, and 3 expansion teams set to join by 2026 reportedly paid more than $50 million each in fees. So they question why the league waited 6 weeks to respond. From the owner's perspective, they carried financial losses for 27 years to grow the league to this point. They invested in improved travel, facilities, and marketing. Now that the league is finally close to making consistent profits, the players are asking for a much larger share of the revenue.
Work needs to be done, but this is a good day for fans to be excited
The
about
schedule was
the
released on
optimism that
February
both sides
13th, and it was meant to show confidence. Teams have to reserve arenas, fans need time to buy tickets, and TV partners must organize their coverage. Announcing a full schedule with opening night on May 15th makes it seem like both sides expect a deal to be reached. But the schedule does not show how far apart the two sides really are when it comes to the core financial issues. Jana on ESPN described it as the world's longest staring contest. The players are looking at the league and saying, "We made an offer. Now it's your move." The league is responding, "Your offer was not different enough for us to answer." That is no longer a normal negotiation. It is a standoff.
Y'all thoughts down in the comments section right now about these new proposal. As of right now, it's still looking like it could possibly be a strike. And anybody thinking this season was going to start on time, I can let you know right now, they about 2 weeks behind the deadline as of today, with the season possibly starting on time. We still got WNBA free agency to get through. We still got the WNBA draft. Whole lot of stuff, plus training camp, man. It's all in limbo. Definitely
Right now, the league is about 2 weeks behind its normal off-season schedule. Free agency should already be open. Teams should be building their rosters, and rookies should know the draft order. Instead, everything is on hold while lawyers, agents, and union representatives try to close a gap worth tens of millions of dollars. At the heart of it is a deeper disagreement about how the league's growth should be valued. If no deal is reached, the consequences could be serious. The players already allowed the old agreement to expire, which shows they are willing to strike if needed. That is a big risk, especially since most WNBA players do not have huge contracts or endorsement deals to rely on. Missing games would be financially damaging for players earning the league minimum of about $64,000. Now the pressure is increasing. The league submitted its proposal Friday night, and the Players Association must review it and decide whether to accept it, reject it, or make another counteroffer. That process could take 1 or 2 weeks, pushing clarity into early March. Training camps are scheduled for late April, only about 6 weeks away. Before that, teams need to know the salary cap, roster rules, complete free agency, and hold the draft on April 14th. None of that can move forward without a signed agreement. If the players reject this offer and submit another counter, negotiations could drag on for weeks, putting training camp and even the May 15th season opener at risk. Owners may believe the tight schedule will pressure players into accepting less than ideal terms. But the players have just seen their league reach new heights. Attendance is up, arenas are selling out, merchandise is breaking records, and national media attention has grown. They believe that success came from their performance on the court. History shows that when leagues assume players will not strike, it can backfire. Other major sports have lost games, seasons, and millions of dollars because both sides refuse to give in. The WNBA, especially after its recent growth, cannot easily afford that kind of setback. Sponsors, broadcasters, and new fans might not stick around if the season is disrupted. Momentum in sports is hard to build and even harder to regain once lost. The league today is not what it was 3 years ago. Revenue has reportedly more than doubled, attendance and merchandise sales have surged, and playoff ratings now compete with regular NBA regular season games. Yet average salaries are still around $130,000, with a maximum of about $250,000. In comparison, NBA players receive about 50% of basketball-related income, while WNBA players receive roughly 20 to 25%, depending on how it is calculated. The players are not asking for NBA-level salaries. They want a revenue share that grows fairly as the league grows, and they want it based on gross revenue instead of net revenue because they are concerned about how expenses are calculated. At this point, the real question is whether the league's proposal reflects the league's current value or is still based on older assumptions about what the WNBA is worth. This final issue is about what counts as expenses. When revenue share is based on net revenue, the league decides which costs get deducted before players receive their percentage. That can include marketing, executive salaries, league office costs, expansion investments, and more. From the player's point of view, that means the owners control how big the total profit looks before dividing it. In other words, the owners decide the size of the pie before handing out slices. So when the league finally sent its proposal after 6 weeks of silence, the real question became whether the players trust the league enough to accept a system based on net revenue. Right now, it seems like trust is the bigger problem. Players have seen the league announce record revenues while salaries have not increased much. They have seen new expansion teams pay large fees while being told there is not enough money to raise the salary cap significantly. They have also seen examples in other sports where creative accounting reduced how much revenue was shared with players. Because of that, this proposal may not be enough, not necessarily because of the dollar amounts, but because of how the system is structured. The players want to make sure they benefit fairly from future growth, especially after a season that showed how quickly the league can expand. Most likely, there will be at least one more round of negotiations. The players may respond with a revised proposal that keeps their main demand of gross revenue sharing but adjusts other details. The league will then have to decide whether to compromise on that key issue or risk a work stoppage to keep control over expense calculations. A practical solution could be a middle ground, such as sharing revenue from a clearly defined portion of gross income while setting clear rules about which expenses count. That would give players more transparency and still allow owners some flexibility. The bigger concern is time. Both sides are pushing hard while the season calendar moves closer. If this continues, it could delay training camp or even affect the start of the season. For fans, this is a moment to pay attention. The schedule release is encouraging, but it does not guarantee a deal. What happens next will shape the league's future for years to come.